Wait.
All right, now we're good and we're live, and we're getting high with a fucking ultra 10 out of 10 special guest. You already know who it is. It's my friend. It's your friend. She is the winner, the chicken dinner of Big Brother season 3.
Big Brother Canada.
Season 3 of Big Brother Canada. But she wasn't just the winner. She was like a fan favorite. The love that our friend used to get right here online, in person. Okay, so we used to work together at a lounge. People would come in because they knew that she had worked at this lounge, just to be in the lounge that she had worked at, that they had heard about on TV. It was pandemonium for the first few weeks after you won. I'm done sucking your dick, but I'm gonna tell you, okay, clit. Yeah, I'm done sucking the clit of our next guest, and our guest right now, Sarah, Big Brother champ, Hanlon.
I'm feeling the love.
You should feel
the
love.
blood is rushing.
Okay, because you know that we were friends, man. We were friends before she won. This is crazy, to tell you the truth. This isn't just a guest on my show. We were friends. She worked at the lounge that
we
I had.
Are friends.
We are friends. We were friends, but we are still friends. Clearly,
was it a trip? It was a trip.
It was the biggest trip, only to watch it live, because you went in and everybody's like, Sarah from the lounge is on Big Brother. You're like, what? What do you mean? And we watched the first season, and then it grew this cult following where you had to be at the lounge to watch each episode. If you weren't getting high, we were rooting for it. People were crying. It was fucking nuts. And then the day you won, it was, oh man.
Did you think there would be like a certain version of me on too? Because I assume you were kind of like, oh yeah, like she's on. But then it was like,
no, it was weird because you became like a pop person on the show. You became like, okay, you were already an advocate. You were already outspoken. That made you one of the most popular employees of our weed circle, like lounge people.
Outspoken is a good.
Okay.
It's a good verb for me.
Because you didn't fuck around, okay? Yeah. And you were always like, I don't like that. I think that's stupid. Who's with me? And if nobody was with you, you'd be like, well, someone's going to be with me because, and then the people from the lounge would always be like, actually, I think she's right. I think we should do that. Or you were very outspoken at the time.
That's being generous, but maybe 3/4 of the time.
No,
or
you were
1/4
OG,
of the time.
man. You were an OG, man. You were always so cool. And then you became a weed advocate when you became a celebrity. I fucking love, and I am going to call you that. Even though you're humble, even though you're chill, you are 100% a weed celebrity. You're not just a Canadian celebrity. You're one of our leaders. You're like on the Mount Rushmore of weed Canadians. Like, because you did something that no one else had ever done. The reality show Pothead.
I mean, they really gave me like this platform that had just never been there before, and it is incredible. Like, because millions of people watch Big Brother, so people literally do like
crazy.
Roll down their windows on the street, and it's always happens at the best times too. Like, I'm meeting someone,
give me some good celebrity.
Like a producer or something who's like, maybe we should work with Sarah. Like, I don't really know who this girl is. We're sitting on the street of downtown Toronto. Like, someone rolls down their
window. But
Sarah,
you look like yourself,
Sarah.
you fucker. You're so lucky. You have an image that is your image.
I'm a kind of caricature of myself.
Yes. Okay, but that works because you can see you from far away. There's no question. As soon as you see you, and if you're a fan of the show, you're like, holy. Because if you've ever seen a celebrity, there's 2 seconds where you look at them, you go, no way. And then you go, yes way, there they are. Holy shit.
Or some people will say hi to me. They'll be like, hey. And then they realize like that they don't know me. They'll be like, their first instinct is to be like, oh, hey, that's my buddy. And then they're like, oh, hey, oh, wait. I don't actually know her as a real person.
Weird, man.
It is trippy.
We're off the top, we're just smoking something random, but we are going to get into some homegrown that you brought for us. That is the best. This is the first guest to bring some homegrown. We had another guest actually bring some homegrown-ish, which was pretty good.
This is wedding cake.
One.
Cakes are going to be the watch.
The big cakes? I want cheesecake. We're
going to see all the cakes coming back soon, I feel
Okay, but wait, man. Okay, being a weed celebrity.
That's generous.
What is your weed story that, like, has somebody given you bad weed that you've had to smoke because you're a nice person? Like, you just smoked it in their face? Like, have you had to reject somebody because they were too much? Because I know even being a minor C-level Rizzo, people have given me certain things that I didn't want to take, I didn't want to have, I didn't want to accept, and you just do and you move on. But I mean,
so lucky for me, the practice of smoking like shitty weed or smoking just like whatever, I mean, I'm used to that. So that's not a deal for me. Like that's why when people are like, oh, like they get so whatever about weed, I get it. There should be standards for sure. But like this girl particularly was smoking like pop cans like for a good majority of her time.
God, you're such a real
teen.
stoner. That makes my heart so fucking happy.
So I'm just like, whatever somebody hands me, it's not going to be worse than like things that I've had in the past.
I can't
went to
complain
Hawaii
about
once,
that either.
And with my family, Maui, when my brother was getting married, I needed weed so bad. I was like, just so desperate. Everybody like on the street, I was like, you know, when you make eye contact with somebody who just maybe looks like a stoner.
Yeah, so you're like, hey, do you guys have weed?
So some guy comes up to me, hey, you're good? I'm like, no, I'm not good. You know the language. So it happens. He gives me like 2 pre-rolled joints, okay?
Wow.
I take them back. I'm smoking one. I'm like, this is not great. Okay, I pull apart the weed. It was roaches unrolled, rolled into a new joint. Okay,
wow.
I mean, it's not getting worse from like a stranger you meet on vacation. It's not getting worse than that. So hand me whatever. I'm fine with it. Like I said, and then like edibles and stuff. That's a whole different deal because like who knows how that's gonna fuck you up. I just won't take that. I'll just be like, oh, I'll have this later.
And then you won't.
And then I probably won't.
I
have friends enough that are like even more fucked up than me.
Unless I
like,
know them.
I will take that.
My friends always take the street edible like from a fan or something. They're like, yeah, man. You know, sometimes they'll give it to you and it looks so good that you have to say yeah. But unless I know who they are.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Everybody has their levels. And I think that's like fine. Like some people are less like stringent and like that doesn't make them like gross or fucked up.
Man,
I mean, I've been there too. Sometimes you just need it and like.
You can't smoke weed on Big Brother?
You couldn't smoke weed?
No edibles?
No, nothing. 70 days, nothing.
70 days.
Nothing. But it was kind of great because I still use that to this day as like potheads can quit.
70 days.
I was like I am the most reliant person on it, and I went 70 days and thrived. I won the fucking show. You know what I mean? So it's not like it was like this huge detriment to me. It's not where I was like. God. I mean, I felt it. For sure. But I mean, like, you can watch the show.
By like day 30, you're good.
Chill.
By what day were you good? Oh my God.
Oh no, I was not.
You never, right? By the end of it, you're like, I needed it.
Oh, it got worse and worse.
How big was the first joint when you finally got home?
It was small, but it was everything I needed. It was, you know that scene from Jaws where they like zoom in and pan out at the same time? Whoa, like that fucking shit happened to me. Because here's what Scott sees me. I haven't seen my partner Scott in 70 days. So that's like alone a trip. Yeah, 3 months. It's like nuts. We're like, you know, lovey-dovey.
And you guys are so sweet. Yeah, you guys are a sweet couple.
We're like smoking a joint in the parking lot of the Loose Moose in Toronto, like on Front Street. If you know that area, it's like so busy.
So busy. And you had just been announced the winner of...
And I'm smoking this joint to my face like I normally would, not realizing, like not thinking. And Scott's so excited to see me, he's not like warning me, and I'm just smoking it. And then someone goes from before, Sarah from Big Brother, the first time anybody ever recognizes me on the street. And like, yeah, that Jaws thing happened to me. My whole world like flipped upside down. It was like and honestly, the whole thing didn't hit me until I smoked that joint. Until that moment, I was like, holy fuck. And everything I just did came like flooding back to me. And it was like...
God, I love that you were open about it. Because imagine you weren't, and now you have to pretend like you're not ripped out of your mind.
And I would have never won the show if I wasn't just open about being a pothead, open about my... Because I would have been like too...
Can you tell me something that I remember being a huge deal? What was your overnight thing on Instagram? I remember it being pretty crazy that you went from like...
Oh my God, like 60 people to like 25,000 people.
Yeah. Did you guys hear that? If you're listening, she went from like a normal Instagram account, like a couple hundred people, like you would live in your life.
Not even a couple hundred, like literally like less than 60. I had just started my Instagram. I had no friends on it. And it was like my personal friends. Yeah.
Yes, man.
To like, 20,000 on Instagram, Twitter, too. Reddit, there's like a whole thing. A whole world of
I know,
Reddit.
Man. I know I've told you this. Take a drink, enjoy
Reddit it. Reddit elicits the...
I remember people, because they knew I worked at Vapor Central for about 3 months after you won Big Brother. Almost everybody who ran into me asked me, not about Stoner Sundays.
As if
they asked me, how is your comedy? And I'd be like, good. And they'd be like, man, Vapor Central, is that girl? Is that where that girl who won Big Cat? And you'd be like, yeah, man,
Hey, well,
Sarah.
You've been my claim to fame for so long. Literally,
No.
I'm glad we could do it for each other. Because like
That's so funny.
People would hear Vapor Central and they'd be like, oh, like that Sunday. I'd be like, yeah, Mike Rita, like that is the show you got to be at.
God, do you remember? Those are good days. The days that we're talking about, if you don't know, we worked together at a lounge in Toronto called Vapor Central. Who since then we don't actually work there anymore, but
and I personally don't really.
And she can't be. You're like I'm choosing not even to be associated. This is what I mean. The no guff personality.
I just had to throw that in.
You're
there.
like I am
don't
not
really fuck with
guffing around.
Vapor
Yeah, I don't fuck
anymore.
around. Listen, man. Well, in our heyday of the Vapor Central days, we all got high and lived a pretty cool life, man. And Sarah, when she came out of...
It was a fucking very cool life.
Dude, it was wild, Sarah. You came out of Big Brother, and it was nuts, man. I can't, like... You were like you were the hottest thing in Canada for what,
really,
like...
Big Brother. I mean, I give credit to Big Brother for that. They really put themselves on the line. Like listen,
No way, man.
if you take the perspective of this show, there's been like 20 seasons of the States.
Yeah, but...
56 different countries or something like that have a Big Brother. I think I'm probably the only person who was like a pothead on the show, even though how many people smoked weed on the show. But they like gave me that chance to be like, yeah, sure, let's acknowledge it. Let's talk about it. Why keep it in the closet? And then I won.
You know, the best thing is you were probably like a larf, like in the, like, why the pothead chick? Yeah, everyone will love her.
It really worked. I literally said on the first day, don't worry about me. I'm just a stoner.
Oh my God.
And that shit paid
off. How the
off.
fuck does that work? How do they choose you? Can you talk about that?
I went to open casting calls.
What?
Yeah. And at like the Toronto Convention Center, there was like thousands of people who went, and they give you like 30 seconds. They're like, "Why do you want to be on Big Brother?" And I was like, "I want to like fight with people.
Listen,
I'm like this crazy feminist."
That's
She's
how
like,
that worked.
And here's the thing. At first, they said, "Why do you want to be on this show?"
You're so funny. I was crazy feminist and smoke weed. Put me on a fucking show.
I was like, "You want to see people fight? Like, I'm your fucking girl." And he said like that was the reason because we stood up there. They gave us all 10 seconds, and I said whatever. I said, I live in Toronto. I've been a fan of the show forever. I want to be on the show. And then he was kind of like, all right, all of you are good to go. Like, go. And then we were walking away, and I gave it like a 4-second pause as everyone walked away. And I turned back to the table. And he told me if I hadn't turned back to the table, I left nothing memorable for him.
Wow.
But it's because I like turned back, and I was like, listen, brah, I didn't really like, present myself the best there. But like, if you want somebody who's going to fight with people, who's going to be a crazy feminist, like just give me another chance at least. And honestly, I was wearing these gold disco pants from American Apparel.
Nice.
Those pants, they got me put on the show. They were great. My
you
ass
actually
looked
have
great.
very loud
This chick smokes a lot of weed.
clothing sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You have a yellow jacket that I refer to as the best jacket in Canadian entertainment.
It's literally famous, that jacket.
That jacket's fucked. It's one of those pieces of clothing that might have its own Twitter. Like Sarah Hanlon's yellow jacket. You're like, wow, what the fuck? Does it tweet?
I went out on October 17th, the legalization day here in Canada. And because every reporter out there was with their camera looking for people smoking weed on the street.
Very nice.
I was wearing like the most vibrant mustard vintage jacket that you've seen from Value Village. It's like I can't wear that jacket and not get a compliment.
Obviously not. It's loud.
So like it was on like HuffPost, Globe and Mail, like UK shit. Like it was everywhere. Not me, my jacket. And it was like Star is Born Lady Gaga shit.
Okay. I always wonder about so much shit because you had, man, like craziest rise to fame. You actually were just a normal person living legit a fucking normal life.
You know what? I never was a normal person, and I never lived a normal life. You know how people come up to me on the street and talk to me now?
Give me this.
If for some reason, I've always been that person. People would come up to me, they'd tell me their whole life fucking story. Maybe I've always dressed like that. I've always been kind of
It's your energy, man. It's just natural that way. Yes, because people come up. If you've ever had someone come up to you and tell you their story and you didn't ask and you've just been sitting there and they came, that's an energy. We were at an airport once and somebody did that to us. They just came up and they're like, man, got kicked out of my apartment. And you're like, what?
But I could see that with you. Yeah, you and Danielle?
No, man, it's actually me and my road manager on our way to British Columbia. This guy named DJ that I grew up with. He's like a driver, joint roller, photographer, just does everything with me on the road. I love him. He's the best. And
two cool people with good energies. Yeah, like they felt like they needed to unload, and like maybe
dude, he just walked up to us and started unloading, and we didn't even go anywhere. We just sat there because okay, this is for real. I'm bad at reading flight times. So I got to Hamilton Airport about 2 hours earlier than I had to. And if you've ever been at Hamilton Airport, it's like a 10-person line.
Nothing, yeah.
It's nothing. It takes like 10 minutes and you're in. So you can be there a few minutes
They
before
have
your flight.
They have a parking for like the Tim Hortons in the airport, and you could just like park and pretend you're getting a coffee and just like go in.
That little fucking airport is sick.
It's amazing. You never have to take off your shoes. That's it. FYI, honestly, for GTA folks, if
Hamilton
you can take,
Airport.
because they're cheaper flights too. So Hamilton to
Swoop, Flair, WestJet. They have little express.
You're going to Calgary, LA.
Did you hear about that $4.99 fly anywhere in Canada thing?
No.
Flair Airlines is introducing a $4.99 springtime flight, so you can fly from March, April, May, or something, March to June, and you can fly anywhere in Canada for $4.99, unlimited between those months.
Well, that's amazing for people in the north and stuff. They need to hear that. Go see their families and shit, because it's like literally like thousands of dollars for them.
Canada sucks to fly around.
Oh, it's
What's your favorite place
in
Canada?
And now like they don't even have Greyhound and shit. That's why like when people are getting pissed, this is maybe like kind of topical for a podcast, maybe time wise, but
Whatever.
for all the protests that are happening for the Wet'suwet'en.
Wow, is that how it's pronounced? Wet'suwet'en?
I don't know.
Wet'suwet'en?
Wet'suwet'en?
It's wet. Is it wet'su? I don't know either. It's not your fault. It's wet'su. I think it's wet'suwet'en. Or how'd you say it the first time?
Wet'suwet'en? I think but that
It's the
doesn't.
same.
That sounds like more of a Sarah pronunciation.
It's
than
not. I can't say it either, and I hear it on the news.
Wet'suwet'en?
Yeah, but I've heard the
Wet'su-
indigenous dude on TV say it so perfectly, and you're like, I gotta learn it.
Yeah,
that
you
way.
just like try to practice it. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Wet'suwet'en.
Wet'suwet'en,
I can't.
Wet'suwet'en.
We're going to Wet'suwet'en. We're really trying our hardest.
Honestly, yeah, fuck. We could. I would die to just get on the front lines.
How do you do that though? How do you get there?
You just, I mean, well, even at Queen's Park and stuff yesterday was pretty amazing.
Oh my God.
So I think it's more important probably that you find like local action.
Listen, man, I don't want to date ourselves. You're right. You never want to date yourself. But
'Cause
currently,
this
in
4
the
weeks from now.
last little bit, there's been some protests happening in Ontario and in Canada with the
Against
teachers.
a unjust pipeline, really, a pipeline going through
So
land
there's
that
pipeline
is
has been
not
going
crown land.
on. The teachers one, and there's one more going on. There's
Oh yeah, the teacher.
They're all teaming up right now, pretty much, to make as much ruckus as they can in our country and in our province, more importantly. And the
and it's pretty
crazy thing
incredible.
is, it's constantly shut down by the dumbest people on the internet, like with the dumbest memes.
Exactly.
They'll
And-
show like a picture of garbage, and then they'll show a picture of a grassy area, and the garbage area will be like the pipeline. Oh no, it'll be like the protests, and then the clean grassy area will be like the pipeline. No, the difference. You're like, what are you talking about?
Right?
Is
It
that,
literally, yes. It's there. There's no
but who is
concept.
believing that meme? Who is like, exactly, that's the truth? All these people
Honestly,
say,
though, that's the question, because sometimes in my most conspiracy theory thing, I think that the people who are making those memes and shit know exactly what they're doing half the time.
obviously.
They're just trying to rile people up. And
Why do people who are really smart try to reach out to the lowest denominator? That always trips me out. How they're okay with selling that.
Yeah, I mean, because it's an innate impulse because we want to. First of all, the internet. This is like a whole deep, heavy thing, right?
Let's get in it.
The internet is such a fucked up thing, and like we're old enough to remember those first things of like chat rooms and stuff. People on there are on there to cause a fucking ruckus and be a dick.
Man, people are
90%
creepy.
of the time, or not 90% of the time. I mean, you have your cultures on there, and then 90% of the time someone's on there being a dick. They're literally doing it to just incite people for the sake of it, not because they actually have like a vested interest, you know?
Why, man? Humans are weird.
Humans are the worst, and the internet is just
What's the weirdest
completely
interaction you've ever
uncontrolled
had?
on the internet.
Just ever in your life, that is the weirdest interaction you never forget.
Oh, well, people, this is really weird.
You give me a bait. You don't have to go super into detail if it's like really fucked, because you're kind of.
After Big Brother, we like go out for dinner.
Yes,
and
man.
We're out for dinner, and the waitress comes up, and they're like, and there's like a bunch of us from the show, and they're like, oh my god, you were on Big Brother, like, and this is our server at a Jack Astor's, and then they're like, so how did you masturbate on the show?
Really?
Because like you were being filmed the whole time, so like how did you guys masturbate?
Oh my god.
So that sticks out to me as one of the
She
weirdest.
did that live in front of you guys?
In front of like 7 of us, yeah.
Did anybody answer?
Honestly, I think because we were on that show and we were all so messed up with like people pleasing and like
It just didn't
we
matter.
might have
Somebody's
been
like,
like,
"Yeah, whatever,
I
man,
don't
you find your
know,
place."
It was the shower.
See, nobody cares. Nobody really. At the end of the day, they're like, yeah, they just, oh, that lady had that question locked and loaded.
And then it was only like probably hours and days later that I was like, that was like a weird question, right?
Yeah, that's 100% a weird question. Oh, man, that's maybe our pizza's here.
Oh, that's our pizza for
Oh,
sure.
man. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get a za. Here, hold this. Pizza.
Pizza.
I'll come out and not keep the door open.
Pizza break. Yeah? Okay, great. Okay, great. I'm literally not anybody. Yeah. No. I can see, like, yeah, you're legit. No. I played like a silly game. Yeah, but I did win. What? Proper. Insight.
Insight did Brock.
Yeah.
I built with them when I was on Ready or Not. Fucking Degrassi.
Ready or Not was
was
the
on Ready or
best
Not,
show.
like,
Oh my God, Amanda and Busy, the best. I grew up on that show, so I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah, I did a bunch of shit when I was younger.
That's so cool.
I did when I was younger.
I'm obsessed like that, like Canadian media. I'm obsessed with. Yeah,
A lot of voiceovers.
cool. Very cool.
But yeah, I mean, Insight. Yeah, that's right. I thought it was Proper that did Big Brother, but it's not. Did you work with Trevor Morris?
Yes, I love Trevor Boris. He's like a inspiration to me for sure, because like I loved his comedy before, and then so like he's the challenge producer, and honestly, okay, it's crazy. Big Brother's like a whole fucking thing. So there's like 57 different versions of the show across the world, and they have like exactly, yeah. So he's worked for the US and Canada and the UK, and they have like conferences, which I find like honestly like a little like Dr. Evil style of like to think that like these Big Brother producers get together all over the world and then they like go over the best ways to like fuck with people. Right? But these poor people have no idea what's coming to them, you know? But honestly, to their credit, they were so, I've never done, because this is what I tell people about Big Brother. Yes, it's the most fucked up thing I've ever done. And it was like emotionally a roller coaster. But I have also never done something with such consent in my life. Like they let me know, huge, like they were like, this is gonna be fucked, you know? And then they made me sign everything a gazillion times. Yeah, and I've heard that other things with familiar things with other reality shows. So I like feel really.
Which ones would you want?
That one looks good, the veggie actually, yeah. But I can't have too much, but I'll have a slice.
Only half a pizza on camera.
Mikey already ate a slice.
Flip that underneath, and then you can have both jaws right side by side.
Yeah.
We do like that?
underneath.
Yeah.
Does that work? Okay,
I love
everybody
it.
on crew grab some and then we'll start eating.
Yeah.
That's good. So I gave Trevor his first TV comedy show.
Oh my god, no
I
way!
used to rep him.
Oh my god, that's so amazing. It's so nice
Oh
to
my
meet
God,
you
you
guys.
guys- What's his name, Boris?
He and
Yeah,
I,
Trevor Boris.
He and I did Canadian Country Music Awards together this year.
Isn't he like an incredible talent? Like so at that Big Brother conference, he did like this huge presentation about because of all these countries in the world, they see Big Brother Canada as like 100% by and far the best challenge team, the producing, the structures of the actual challenges themselves, plus like the actual like rhythm of the games. They're actually like exciting. They have drama in them.
Tell Reach this.
You're all Bell.
Yeah, on
You're
TV.
all Bell Media.
All right, we back?
Yeah. Global media.
Thumbs down. Grab another slice.
Grab some slices.
I don't know.
You can grab slices live. I think it's hilarious.
No, I think actually Bell Media, mine's global, so it's different.
Yeah, it's
they're
funny.
different networks too. Yeah.
Right, so they went across.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna.
GG. Pizza's back. We smashed some pizza.
Oh my God.
Isn't it just classic, man?
Olive pizza is. You need olives on a pizza. Is what I'm trying to
Ooh,
say.
big conversation. Is olives a good pizza topping? You think olives a good pizza topping?
1,000%. 100%.
You think pineapple's a good one?
Fuck no.
Wow, see?
No.
See? I'm pro pineapple, anti olives.
No.
We're going to ask the studio here, what do we got?
Like, how does that make sense? You're anti-salt on pizza, but you're pro fucking fruit?
Yeah.
No.
I'm all over the place.
I mean, I really think that I should give Hawaiian another try because I haven't had it in forever, but I'm so anti the thought of it. Like,
Anybody want a garlic?
yeah, bust that shit out.
This is the sesh from Mike Rita. We're eating our pizza, you know?
And
I'm not even lying.
and our feelings.
I'm going to say what pizza place it is. I don't give a fuck. Can we say that? I'm going to say it. It's Pizza Gigi in Toronto, which is a legendary pizza joint because they got busted for drugs in the 90s, and they're the best.
It's really delicious.
It's the best pizza. I love them. I always give a shout out to them. Not because of the drugs, but because of the pizza quality. They are delicious.
So it was like you ordered like a double large and it was like a half ounce and a pepperoni or what?
Man, I don't know how they did it, but they were running like, a drug ring out of the pizza joint. And I always wondered how that worked. I mean, we'll never really know now.
Extra oregano.
Yeah, you know?
Right?
Extra oregano. Nobody orders that. Imagine one day you did order extra oregano by mistake. Just as a person, you're like, yeah, I'm going to get extra oregano right now.
Two 12-year-olds, when their mom's like, we're going to leave you $20 for dinner, Mikey. And that kid just loves oregano.
Get
Best
extra
night
oregano.
of his life.
The hell is this?
Guy, we just came up with our first plot line for a co-written 90s coming-of-age tale.
Man. We got to lower the age of consent for weed. No one's going to wait till, 19? Nobody waits till 19. Did you wait till 19 for your first drink?
No, but it's hard. I mean, I think if I had kids.
I got kids.
Don't you want her to wait, though?
No.
I think I'd do that thing where I'd be like, I'll pay you like $1,000 if you just wait till you're 18. I think it would be worth it.
I'm just going to teach her. That's just sure.
Early and...
Because I smoke weed around my kid all the time. Like, I'll be in the kitchen, and I'll be near a fan, and she'll be in the living room. She's, like, literally within eyesight most times.
Right. But seeing and doing is different things.
But I want her to know that it's a normal thing for adults.
Exactly. And you're
And
really
not
not adult
hiding.
till you're 18.
Yeah. So, but I feel like if I teach her that, I won't have to, she's probably going to try it when she's a teenager, right? Like,
Well, because I do, yeah, and it's hard because I flirt with those two schools of thought of like, you kind of do need to get drug use out of your, because for me, I got drug use out of my system.
I used to have a joke
by my
about that.
20s, and then like,
when the fuck are you going to do drugs? When you're 40s with kids in a house? You loser? No, you do when you're 20s and you got nothing to lose,
20s,
you know?
but not teens, because I do think maybe your brain is still developing.
Yeah, obviously.
And like and I made that joke
But the
before, and I
worst
don't,
thing
and I
is-
don't condone like when I was smoking aluminum when I'm like 15 years old, like that. I really don't want. I wouldn't want your kids or my
If
kids
my
or
parents
anybody
truly
doing that.
knew how much weed I was smoking as a teenager, they would have been massively disappointed. But they would have had one of those moments where it's like, wow, that explains everything.
And at the end, in retrospect, would I say, like, I honestly wish that I wish I had the teachings of cannabis before I don't want to say, like, I wish I was smoking weed when I was 15 and stuff, but I wish that I had that sense of perspective that I did because I was smoking weed when I was 18, 19. Like, I chilled out. I didn't take people's opinions of me as seriously and shit.
Okay.
I enjoyed what I enjoyed. I wish I had those lessons when I was 15 and stuff, but I do think that maybe because when I read, like, scientists and shit, I do want to, like, give credit to like the neurologists and the scientists who say that, like, you know, the brain is still developing. Like, cause like there's nothing wrong with beer. I fucking love beer. Same way, but I wouldn't say that 16, 17-year-old, I'd just say like, just wait like one more year. Because also too, do you find yourself like, I find myself a little dependent on it and I'm like only 30. So why are we trying to make that, like, just give them as many years of their life where they're not
100%
dependent on shit?
Dependent on weed. And the worst part is,
Or even like, but that's the thing. Then when you stop, you're like, you can't have Coke, you can't have chocolate, you can't have pizza, because at the same time, it's all kind of bad. Like, I don't know. I
That's
think
the
I would be
sugar
the
shit.
worst mom. I'd be like granola and like
you're not going to be like
no
that.
TV.
You're going to be the kind of mom, whatever you like, you will give to your children in children form.
Right.
Okay, wait. We're going to have a break right now. We're going to have a pizza break.
So, like,
Does anybody
no-
want to grab a
so-
slice? Grab a slice.
So you're talking like 90210 binges.
Yes, man. Anybody else want a slice? Grab a slice. We're doing a pizza. We're having the producers grab the pizza. We're gonna do this once in a while. It's a
Everybody
pizza party.
get in here. I recommend the olive, obviously.
You like
Mike
the olive
wouldn't.
pizza? No, man. Me and Mill, pepperoni for life.
Pepperoni forever.
Yeah. Our producers. We're having a producer off. Oh, he's getting one of each. Mill.
Pepperoni with
I should have
olive
brought
is like
plates.
next
I fucked
level.
up. Man, you like the olive. I can't do the olive on pizza, man.
On anything, or you like olive
I
sometimes?
love olives. I love those little monzellas or whatever they're called with the little pepper inside.
Yes, manzanilla.
Manzanilla.
There's there's Kalamata. I'm an olive. Yeah, I know them all.
I fuck with jarred olives.
Queens.
Those
Oh
big
yeah,
ones?
the jars are the best, honestly, or cans.
It was me putting down crusts. You fuck with crust? You eat crusts?
Yes, I'm an adult. Is the question you're asking? I'm an adult human being.
I don't hate crusts. I hate this little part in between. I love the crust
Cause you gotta fold
and
it.
I love the cheese, but I hate the bread and that part where the cheese doesn't meet the crust and there's a little bit of bread there, and just sauce is 100% the worst part of a slice of pizza.
Because you have to fold the crust into where the juiciest part of the pizza is.
No way, man. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying
You
though.
know what I mean?
Okay, all right.
Exactly. There's actually, you can look this up. There's like 3 ways to fold a pizza. You do like that, either just completely like that, or like that's the way to do it. And then fold it. The double fold.
Wow, and then like this.
And then like that.
Oh, look at that, guys. I'm gonna eat a pizza like that. I don't
That's
give
the
a
way
fuck.
to do it.
You think I won't eat a pizza like that? I got no respect for the system. I don't give a fuck what your old school rules are. Fuck you. Eat a slice of pizza straight. Go fuck yourself. I support the folding slice community.
Just don't get a knife and fork out here though. See, it's like a little it's like a pizzone now.
I don't like pizzones. They're always too hot. So you gotta wait to eat them. And then when you go to eat them, they're too cold.
You're insane. You're insane. I have taste buds that, again, I'm an adult.
I know. I'm over here. What did I just complain about? I was complaining about something. I was like, crust, I don't like the part that doesn't have the
crust.
cheesy. Oh, it's not hot. It's not cheesy. It's not hot. It's just soggy. Get off of my plate. Honestly, I am a perfectionist when it comes to eating things. I cannot eat chicken with skin on it. I think it's nasty. I need to have the
It's
skin
'cause
off.
I want to say, like the Portuguese mother thing. She probably made you your plate like pretty perfect, right? You didn't have to, like my mom. I love my mom, and she is amazing. But she was very much like, "That's your plate." I mean, you deal with that.
My mother made me make my own plates. She was so annoyed with me.
Because
already
you were
as a
like, "I don't
kid.
want crust."
I don't want that. I don't want that. There's too much fat on the chorizo. Because chorizo, you can see the fatty like parts from the outside of the casing.
You asked your mom to take out the fat of the chorizo.
Yeah, when we were kids, because I literally like chorizo might be a hipster topping now, but when I was a kid, I'm Portuguese. That was an actual food in my fucking house that went with everything else. If you had chicken, you had chorizo. You had beef, you had chorizo.
Makes sense.
You
Yeah,
had
yeah, yeah.
roast, you had chorizo. It was fucking crazy. And it's when you ask my parents, it's because when you're growing up poor, there's only certain food. So everything there's bread with every meal because bread is cheap.
Right.
And you have chorizo.
satisfying. It makes you feel good. Yeah, yeah.
And my mom told me I'm lucky because when she was a kid, chorizo wasn't made with the good parts of the like what was left. It was made with whatever the fuck. You made it with just chunks of leg and shin and like thigh and like.
So that's what she was asking. She was asking her parents, "Can you take like the thigh out?" And you were like,
There's bone in my
There's
chorizo. Eat the
whiteness.
fucking bone. I'm over there like there's a little bit of fat and gristle, mama. And she's like, shut the fuck up. You can eat your own fucking chorizo. No, my mom's so nice. Mikey, I don't want to eat the chorizo. No, eat the chorizo.
I tell people I could listen literally just to you read the phone book in your mother's voice, and I would. It's just my favorite.
See, the
thing
problem
in
with
the
that is she
entire
wouldn't know how to read any of the names.
I understand. Oh, I don't understand the name. Understand. Smith.
My name? How would she think? It's pretty.
Hanlon. Hanlon.
And she wouldn't know how to say it.
Hanlon.
Do you think she'd like me?
No, my mom likes nobody. She doesn't like me. You know who she likes in life? My daughter, and that's it. She doesn't like me. She doesn't like my wife. She doesn't like my brother. She doesn't like my sister.
I think honestly though, but I like your wife and your daughter a whole lot. I would just hype them up so much. I would be like, "Oh my god, you have the most beautiful
True story.
granddaughter."
She likes my wife Danielle because Danielle puts up with me, and she can't believe that I found someone to put up with me.
I think that's all mothers, I think.
Mikey is so. I hate Mikey.
Like, you know, she can't believe that I found someone who
Oh
lets
my
me
God,
smoke
yeah,
weed.
no, that's every mother. That's every mother.
My mom didn't think women smoked weed. That's
Well,
real.
that's kind of a real thing. I mean, growing up, it was always me hanging out with like the boyfriends, and then our significant others were somewhere being mad. Yeah,
Good.
that was like a thing. And I was very genderqueer, and anybody who was
When I told
was
my
always with was
mom
very,
that women are allowed to smoke weed too, she's like, allowed, yeah, but no, but you never see.
yeah, because it's like enjoying themselves.
And you're like, what do you mean? I love that though. My mom is very old school still, in the sense that my mom will like press my dad's pants on Sunday. Like if they're going out, my dad will be like, where's my pants? And my mom will be like,
They're on the way. They're on the way.
you're like, and like we'll be
Oh,
coming
that's
over as
just
a
too
family to go
cute.
meet them to go out or something, and we're like, shut up. We are all anti my dad. When he gets like that, like, shut up. Shut up, you fucking idiot. You don't talk to mommy like that. And my mom was like,
It's okay. He tell me to make the pants. It's okay.
he can make the pants. You go, you want to, she'll defend him. She'll be like, he's just asking. And yeah,
I adore her. I adore her, and I've never met her.
she's old school. Wait, you're gonna bounce? I love you. We're saying bye to one of
love
our OG McFreeze. He's leaving. If you can see him in shot,
Not, thank you.
I love you. Okay.
I'll have to look you up. You famous celebrity. You.
Well, yeah.
Oh, it was so nice to meet you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much.
Be safe, brother.
Mike, just
Don't judge me on it if you do Google me.
Don't judge me.
Yeah, don't judge her on her Google, because he's gonna run into articles like,
Person that can judge me is God.
no, God's even a worse judge of anybody else. If God was judging me, he'd be my
Amen.
mother. He'd be like,
I don't like you do this.
when I picture a God, I always picture him in my mom's voice. That is 100%, because my mom was so religious growing up that anytime I picture a God, I don't picture a guy being like, do the right thing. I picture my mom being like,
What are you doing?
and I'm like, God, is that you?
It's me, God. God damn, it's your mom.
I can't. Listen, when you die, what do you think happens? Do you ever think about that shit?
Oh,
We had a guest on a few weeks ago when we talked about that, and you're cool. You're like, I don't like using the term hippy dippy, but you're chill, man.
I
You're
am the
hippy-dippy.
definition of hippy dippy.
Okay, so you're hippy dippy.
I'll give you the most hippy dippy answer.
Wait,
I'm,
give me two. Give me two answers. We did this last week or a couple weeks ago. I can't remember when it was, but give me what you think happens for real, dead honest in your heart. What you think happens for real, and then also give me what you hope happens.
Okay, those are heavier than I was willing to give. Because I leave open the option for everything. Always, I think, is what I try to do. And then, but if I'm going gut, I don't know. I don't think I've ever let myself really go there. I mean,
That's a good answer. A lot of people's answer.
I believe in energy a whole lot. So it's just going to be a transference of energy, right?
Nothing
and
wrong
I
with
do
that.
believe, like, I believe in ghosts, and I believe in fucking astrologies, and I believe in, because, like, how could you not, like,
It's your
we're
choice.
trying
You
to,
can
we're
believe
trying
in
to
whatever
say,
the hell you want.
like, and people say that, like, genitals describe so much of, like, personality and history and, like, every fucking thing. But then we say that, like, horoscopes or astronomy, which is literally, like, the way the universe was when you were born, has no bearing on anybody, you know, like the fact that babies experience spring at the same, like, if me and you are born in February, we experience spring at the same time. We experience at a certain age. We experience winter at certain ages. I think those things can fundamentally kind of like shape certain things about you. You know what I mean? I think there's
I'm okay with
room
that.
for everything. So for
Man, I like that there's room for everything, because there is no guarantee. So you, as a human, you're allowed to believe in whatever the fuck you want.
And I think the hardest thing for human beings is to believe in things that we don't have explanations for, which is having that leap of faith, right? Which is
Who
what
cares?
people do.
You get one life. Believe in
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly. So
Listen.
I think I just try to make myself like good energy as much so I can think that my good energy would be transposed into something else. I
You
think
down
that
to
might
you down to spark our next dude? Are we done with our
spark that
pizza
shit
right
up,
now?
yeah,
Okay.
because it's the heavy combo.
Okay. Yeah.
What
the
do you
combo's
think?
getting
What I hope is, you know, like what everybody hopes is, I guess I would hope in reincarnation.
God, that's a good one. See, Dee, my wife, loves reincarnation. I don't even like saying my wife, just my partner, my homie. We love each other, and she believes in reincarnation. She'll fight me to fucking death over the idea of reincarnation, and I'll be like, you want to come back as a bird? And she's like, I don't know what I'm coming back as, but your energy has to go somewhere.
Well, and
your
I think
life
the
and
idea
soul
of
has to go.
reincarnation is to learn the lesson that you need to learn.
I'm okay with that.
So
man.
it doesn't like that people say that there's levels or whatever. A bird is higher than an ant or whatever, but it's like all about like what you would need to learn after what you already learned. And then if you think about it that way, to think about like that we're human beings and we've kind of gone through cycles of other things. And because here's my thing. The thing is, you have to allow for paradoxes to exist. So these can all exist all at the same time. I think
okay
that's
with
the
that too.
fucked up thing. I think they all do exist. If people believe in something, it exists. I'm not
See,
someone who
quantum
says,
physics will tell you that you are 100% correct on that.
is that not the truth?
Yes. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with everything they said. So that's
We're
so
reincarnated,
that's your hope?
or we just go to sleep forever. Sometimes, and
I'm okay
I
with
think
that.
maybe because I love sleeping. I think there's something beautiful about sleeping. I think
Yeah.
there's some, and I think there's something to when you're depressed, you sleep more. I think we don't pay attention to sleep. So I do think that there's something
That's so
connected with sleep and death that it would be beautiful for me to think of too. If we all just went to sleep. That ain't bad. I
See,
mean,
that's
I'm
what
tired.
I believe in. Like, if you were to ask me which one I truly believe in, I always think that we just die. I actually think it's really grim and
But
shitty.
see, and so because that's kind of where my heart goes too. But then can those things not exist too? Because
Yes.
as we die, your energy does exist no matter what,
and where's
right?
it's got to
If
go
you
somewhere.
died tomorrow, I would carry you on in my spirit, and that's your energy living on in the world.
See,
so like
I
we're-
had that first epiphany feeling. This is for real. When I was like 16 years old, I was listening to Jimi Hendrix, and I for a second I was so high as a kid, just smoking weed and a pipe in my bedroom, listening to a Hendrix greatest hits
Is
album.
there anything better than that?
No, man. So Hendrix's voice is coming out of the speaker, and I'm like, man, this guy's not dead. I can hear him. He's right here. I can literally hear him. How can he be
and
dead?
That's real as shit. There's nothing more real than that.
The dude is dead maybe in like physical form, but he's not dead. I can hear him. I can literally hear him
That's
be
why I
like,
never-
you know.
And as I'm getting older, I can feel it a little bit more because there's a couple of celebrity deaths that have hit kind of close to home, like Luke Perry or whatever, where I literally cried.
Did you grow up watching 902?
Of course,
See,
I grew up.
a guy
watching
like
902
Luke Perry is like your childhood crush. So I always have that feeling when someone dies, they take all the happiness that they gave you with them. When Robin Williams died, I had that feeling.
Stop! Yes, Robin Williams is another one. It
Right?
gets me really
Yeah, man.
sad.
So when Robin Williams died, my whole childhood was like, I'll cry right now. I swear to God. And
It
it's
does.
like,
You can't watch. I know. I'm sorry, but you can't watch like Mrs. Doubtfire and shit the
No,
same way because it
no,
was like that
because-
lighthearted.
Yes, man.
But I
and you're
think
like,
that's
wow,
the
this
way
dude's
he
depressed
died as
while
well.
he's doing this shit. This guy's fucked.
Yeah, I think that's because he clearly had such a tormented life, which so many comedians have, and you are a comedian, and people must dismiss your feelings sometimes because like people don't treat comedians in the same
No
ways.
comics talk about their feelings because you're not allowed to. Comics are supposed to be these like
and
rock
people
hard
just
dudes.
want you
Actually, I do
happy
talk
and
about my
fun all the
feelings.
time. And really, humor, I think, always comes from like we know the most sensitive of places, right?
Hey, you know,
especially your humor. Your humor is so fucking tapped into like what's real and what's important and what's like
Emotionally a thing.
yes. So like yeah.
Okay, but wait, honestly, I always express myself in these long-winded posts on social media because it's like this perfect outlet. Because a lot of people just like to write something really cheap and easy and just get in and out because they don't want to attach any emotion because they don't want to miss on their post in a sense. They don't want people to think something negative about them, so they try to like live this like super flashy style.
Well, and but also people shouldn't. I do because for me, I resist that too because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like almost like expected that you have to pour yourself out.
No, man, you're allowed to just write whatever you want. So sometimes, like yesterday, I wrote something stupid. It was like a picture, and it's just like vibes and dying, or I don't know what the fuck I wrote, something like that. But most times, if I post something about my daughter, I'll always write something so fucking long so that people know it's like it's okay to express yourself. I have a real big issue with that because I have anger issues internally with like life. I'm really angry at certain things. And it's so hard
Ditto.
dude, how do you express yourself when you have anger issues and people expect you to be this like perfect
Super happy,
Dude.
calm, especially about something like you bring up something I've thought about a lot. If I had a child,
Yo.
I have 25.5 followers on Instagram. If I posted a picture of my child, I would expect 25.5 likes on that photo.
That's right.
And
like,
nothing less. I post pictures of my dogs, and I'm offended that I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
We're not cracking
My
the, like,
next post, I want to write in text on my post, if you don't like my dogs, unfollow me. You know,
what's
I
a
get
normal threshold
angry
for a post? It's like 500 likes, like entry level.
for like a face photo,
Fuck off, yeah.
and then anything else less. So
But, like,
there's
if you're
another
in the
person,
photo,
it's
yeah.
less. If it's just my face, I could get 1,000.
No way, that's so fucking funny.
No, but that's like you're saying, it can eat at you and get all fucking. Because then you're like, oh, I don't
Okay,
post with my friends.
imagine that,
I don't
though.
post with my dogs sometimes because I do. It makes me upset
Hey.
that people don't like it as much as they
No,
should
man,
like
and
it.
that's what I'm saying. The missing on the post. You don't want to miss on your post. You don't
But
want to.
see, I think there's nothing wrong with then holding back to and being like, you people don't fucking deserve that.
Yes, man. Of course.
You don't deserve the picture of my
It's
beautiful baby.
your
I kept in
social
my
media.
body. Could you imagine Danielle?
Yo,
Because
D.
that's your child. True, but Danielle made that person.
To D.
Sacrificed 9 months, not 9 months of her life, alcohol,
Dude,
and
I can't even tell ya.
caffeine, and all the things.
Kids
comfort,
are attached to their mom in a way that's trippy, man.
and that should be right.
Yes, man. Some people aren't though. D came from a family that wasn't. They weren't emotionally a family. Like my family wasn't emotionally a family. They were just a family. Like my dad didn't hug me. But D also came from a family that was like she's like, yeah, I don't think my grandmother hugged me. And you're
That must
like,
be so hard.
see, that shit's trippy though, because that's just the way it is. They're old school folk.
Right.
You're like I hug my daughter like 30 times before 10 o'clock. I hug her when we wake up, when she brushes her teeth.
And that comes
when she eats-
naturally? Like, because
Yes,
for someone
man.
like me, there are hesitancies of maybe becoming a parent because I feel like of carrying on certain things.
No,
but
man, you won't. It becomes just about your kid and you. Your whole life doesn't matter anymore. It's just about you, your partner, because you love them, trust them. That you guys, it's crazy. It'll make me cry right now. That you guys get to team up to raise a little motherfucker who is like only gonna know how much you know in life. So you better be as smart as you can fucking be, because you're gonna pass it on to these little nuggets. We had a girl, and my daughter, when we found out, I didn't want to be a boy dad. I wanted to be a girl dad, because little boys suck. Little fucking boys suck. And we go to playgrounds, and I am 1,000% convinced I'm a boy. I was a boy growing up, and I get it. I get why my parents sheltered me. I get why they got me into music, because boys.
You needed that outlet.
Yes, man. I needed an outlet. My daughter is the most self-sufficient, independent little fucking nugget. Like in the morning.
you guys are great parents.
Dude,
and
we're
that-
only great because she makes us great. I'm going to tell you what makes a kid a good parent is a good kid. If your kid's shit, you have an uphill battle with a shit kid who is now your enemy. I don't care who you are as a parent. You have a shit kid.
I think you're missing the chicken and the egg situation
fucked,
here because
man.
of your humility and your
Trust,
right? I
man.
mean, so you're
Kids-
saying like if it's what's the Omen kid?
I don't know. Yeah, you get like some little asshole omen kid. Who's just
I don't
so
think that
shit.
happens. I mean, those kids I think are made out of
Boring. Maybe
situations,
underparenting.
right? Yeah.
Sometimes you can see underparenting. Not overparenting. Overparenting raises sheltered kids who usually can grow up to either be really good adults or weirdos. Whatever, sure. But underparenting.
But who doesn't love a weirdo?
Underparenting doesn't cause weirdos. Underparenting causes anger and attention needy kids
Anxiety
and loud kids. You can see, man, when we go to a playground, the kid who's literally going around like, ah, banana! Like the mom and dad are nowhere to be seen. They're
Right.
like texting at a table eating fucking chips. And you're like, man, your kid sucks, and your kid has no structure as a human. Like you need tiny childhood structure. I know that sounds stupid because they're like, unstructured is the best way. Nah, man. You tell your kid, yo, listen, we're right here. Go over there. Go do whatever you want. If you need us, we're right here. That's the basic structure.
100%. Well, and that's why, like, when they say like self-care is kind of like being that parent to yourself,
Just
and that's what you
be
need
there.
to do. Just like
Just fucking be there. You
be
don't
there
have,
and tell them what to do, and like you said, give them all the information you fucking have, all of it, and let them make the decisions that they can make. Right?
Man, watching kids learn. Sarah, man, don't ever be hesitant, man. Go have some fucking kids. I shouldn't be that guy, but I fucking am that guy now. Because I love love my daughter. So
Yeah,
it's
I
fucked.
know, and I adore kids, and I adore people's relationships with
You
kids. But I think
won't.
that there's something okay with just being like that.
There is 100% everything okay with it. I just honestly, it's so selfish because I love you and I love your partner Scott.
So
I'm
I know,
like, make a motherfucking
That's
kid.
the thing, and the,
Oh
and
my
the
God, that's so
cuteness
funny.
just of that factor alone
I
is
can't
enough
deal with
to.
that. I'm
but
such a stoner. I'm so selfish. I'm like, I like Scott. I like you. Make a fucking kid. What
do
the hell's wrong
it.
with
It
you
makes
guys?
sense. Yeah.
God, that's I want you to make. I want you to have an everyday 24-hour responsibility so that I can see your cute Instagram pictures.
And we could take cute Instagram pictures with like.
We're
our-
like us smoking at a park and our
babies.
kids are within eyesight. We're like cool potted parents.
believe.
Oh
we
man,
do have to hang out more though.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you a cool pothead parent story quick. When I smoke weed at Hyde Park, I step about 20 meters, so I do about 30 big steps, and then because
Perfect.
that's what it legally is. So you can't be within 20 meters of the kids. So I take about 30 big steps. I'm give or take 20, and then you take a couple more steps back. Man,
Short legs.
I'm Portuguese. What do you want from me? I got my little construction legs. It's for sturdiness. But at first, I used to feel really uncomfortable. And then after about 2 weeks of going into Hyde Park, you see the same parents almost every day because you go out one, you go out two.
Oh, that's so
So you
cute.
see, man, I remember this one dad who would always stare at me while I was smoking. And it's like, I always thought he was being an asshole. Like he was trying to stare at me, like, so I would stop. And then one day he started walking to me while I was smoking a joint, and I kind of like flexed. I kind of like actually. I'm not joking, Sarah. You know me. I'm a nice guy, but I seen him walk.
Oh, I know, yeah, you
and I
don't
thought he
take
was gonna be
shit.
kind
You're
of
not
like an
gonna take
asshole.
shit,
So
yeah.
I seen him walking. I was like, "Everything cool, buddy?" And he walked in, and he kind of started whispering. He's like, "Yeah, man, I see you smoke all the time. I brought a little joint." And I was like, "Oh my!" I swear to God. But on the
That's the
outside,
cutest thing I've ever
I'm
heard.
so cool because I'm very cool because I always dress like I wear my jean vest or my shirt, so I always look like a cool dad. I don't want to fuck around. And I can't break character, so I was like, cool, man, cool. I even told him, I was like, I thought you were an asshole. I see you stare at me all the time.
You would.
And he starts laughing. He's like, no, I'm looking at you because, bro, it's like, cool, bro, you're smoking
now
a
you're
joint.
friends.
I haven't seen him all winter. We don't go to the park during the winter. We tried, and then
Mike, I'm so sorry. I have to pee so bad.
you go pee. This is the coolest podcast you ever been on. You know, I don't give a fuck.
I'm
gonna
so
con-
close to making it.
Go. Don't even make it. I don't give a fuck. We're gonna continue the story. Don't be sorry. I'm gonna eat half your cookie now. You fucked up. I'm going to tell the rest of the story for the listeners so we don't have to cut this. Sarah went to go take a piss. We're in a recording studio, so who gives a shit? If she's not back in 3 minutes, though, she's taking a shit. So set your timers, listeners. Whatever, man. I can't remember the story I was even telling. I don't even give a fuck. I'll tell you guys another story if you're listening right now. So the Hyde Park story is the guy. This guy started smoking weed with me, and I became known as like some sort of pothead at the park. And other parents would once in a while join me on little do's. They try to be so. I'm going to tell you something, listeners. If you're a person who didn't smoke weed before it was legal, don't talk to people who have been smoking weed for like 15 years, 20 years. Because you're such a fucking wiener. I never thought that was a thing, but I get it now. I get it. If you play beer league or ball hockey, it's hard to talk to an NHLer. And I am an NHLer of smoking weed. I'm not a veteran. I'm not some guy in the Hall of Fame. I'm some guy who's playing. I have been in the AHL. I've worked my way up. Smoke weed every day of my life. Plenty of joints, dabs, edibles, whatever the fuck you want. And sometimes you just have these people come up and they'll bring their little jar of legal weed. I'm smoking Broken Coast. You're like, shut up, fucking maniacs. But that kind of stuff makes me laugh. And if you're one of these people, just put your weed that you bought legally in a little baggie so it looks cool, and learn how to roll it. Nobody wants to share your pipe. I don't know you. I don't want to share your pipe. I feel bad. I still hit it. I don't give a fuck. You hit the pipe. So what? You hit the fucking pipe. People are nuts. They bring these little pipes to the park. And they want you to hit it with them. I never even met you, but your kid's nice. I'll judge a parent. I'll smoke weed with them if their kid is nice. I remember one time a dad came and his kid was an asshole, and he asked me if I wanted to kind of smoke with him, and I said no. It was so awkward. I said no, and Danielle was super embarrassed because I did it. My wife is the best, but she's a good person. She was on my side, but she was so embarrassed that I was so like aggressively like, no, man, I'm good. Whatever. Don't bring your little asshole kid around the pothead parents. We're all judging you. That's right. I'm talking about judging parents on their shitty kids. But that's only because I have a good kid. Because if I had a shitty kid, I'd be like, please don't judge me.
Because I have not my dogs are the best dogs in the entire history of the world, but they're old now, and one of them can be loud and aggressive.
What kind of dog?
German Shepherd Cross.
Oh, classic.
Border Collie Cross is our other one. They're the cutest fucking dogs ever.
Quick story about
But people
German
judge
Shepherds.
a German Shepherd like before it even does
Exactly.
anything.
I was gonna say, quick story. Everybody's scared of German Shepherds because it's like a thing in your head because you grew up seeing them as police dogs.
Exactly.
And you're like, is this thing gonna bite me right now?
100, and they can be like that, and they look intimidating. Like German Shepherds, they see each other and they're intimidated. So when a person sees a German Shepherd, they already judge it, and it's a good lesson in like prejudice because then the German Shepherd takes that in. And they're like, oh my God, this person's scared. I'm barking. And it's like this thing that happens and you can even like control it.
You know, do you get high around your dogs?
Yes.
I got high around my cousin's German Shepherd when we were kids once. And the nicest dog ever bit me while we were getting high. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the smoke was bothering him or something. And he just came by my hand and bit my hand.
No, that's crazy.
I know. I always remember that.
Maybe it was like there was like an anxious energy in the room because of it. Or the dog is probably a biter. That dog probably bit someone every fucking day.
And we just didn't know because the family never talked about it.
Yeah, because when that happens, they go like, oh my God, this never happened.
Yes, man. Right away, everybody was like, no, this doesn't happen. We don't know.
Yeah, because they don't
we
want
were
that
all
dog
smoking
to be
weed
put
in a
down.
circle, yeah, and he bit me. He didn't bite me hard. He gave me one of those bites where it's like,
Was-
and then he walks away like I could have got you, you fucker. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You ever get bitten by a dog where he's like,
Yeah. Once a small dog, like right in the ass, kind of.
dude, they always bite my socks. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, man. I'll snap, man. These
Yeah,
fucking
dogs
pups.
can be scary shit. Like even my dog is this like, and that's the thing. She's like barking, but she never like she's the sweetest fucking dog. But I look at her and I'm like, she could take me down if she wanted to.
No, man. You could take down your dog. I'm going to tell you something, Sarah. When I was a kid, my cousin dog named Comet, it was like a shepherd. You know one of those like shepherdy dogs that like if there was sheep, it would like
Right.
do you know
Like
what I'm
a
talking
herder,
about?
like a working dog.
Yeah, it was one of those dogs.
Yeah.
So, but she had it in a house. So this dog was always mad anxious, barked at everything. Man, you can take down a dog. Something clicks in your head. I know it sounds crazy. When we were a kid one time, a dog was licking water out of a bidet. You know the bidets that shoot the water up?
European families, yes.
Dude, I don't know what I was thinking. Listen, man, I didn't want to do anything malicious to the dog. I went to the bidet while the water was spritzing up, but the dog wasn't licking it. He was just standing at it, like just kind of like licking his chops or something. I don't know.
Okay.
And I started just playing with the water as a kid, and this thing fucking lunged. And it's like flipping out. And I never had done this as a kid. I was probably like 8 or 9 years old, man. I never had to been in a
I
situation.
mean, it sounds like you deserve it. Off the go, it sounds like you're downplaying your. I'm kidding.
was a child playing with water and fucking around. I was fucking around. You know when
I'm
you're
kidding.
fucking
That's
around.
devastating. Honestly, I
But
would
he
be
did
terrified
the
of
thing.
dogs.
Have you ever been bitten by a dog and they do this and they shake around?
Oh.
Dude, I can still picture it. Stupid fucking Comet. What an asshole. But listen, this is the best part of the story.
Never happened to me because I'm nice to dogs.
I remember ripping my hand out of his jaw, and I got all these little like scrape cuts.
Oh.
And as he's like kind of standoffish with me, because he was a family dog and I knew him personally, I wasn't scared. I literally fucking grabbed Comet as a kid and like fucking jammed him to the ground and went, Comet, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
And he was like, because I was fucking, I literally grabbed him and pushed him down. And I remember as a kid,
having like a sense of like, oh shit.
like there's an animal thing that just went off in your head. It
Right.
wasn't Comet, the dog, the family dog, my cousin's dog.
Right. It was like.
Yo, dude, why the fuck did you attack me right now, you idiot? Don't you understand that I'm a human? I can fight you. Like, you're
Right,
big,
right,
but you're
yeah,
not that big.
yeah,
I'm an
yeah.
8-year-old kid. Dude, and I ate my fucking cheese and bread as a kid, so don't fuck around.
And I think, and that's the fight or flight thing too.
Yo, I
think.
I never had that ever since then.
I think because as
you
a
can do
woman, I think people think, oh, if a man comes at me or whatever. But if you are, that's what the whole point of self-defense classes are. And to this, you say, Comet, no, like you aggress and you don't be
Dude.
scared and you go after and you can stop someone your
You
size
will
or
stop
bigger.
an animal
Yes.
in its fucking tracks. you know?
Yes.
Maybe
Be
not like a
strong.
bear, but obviously anything up until like yo, like you fucking are ready, man.
No, but and with a bear, what else are you gonna do but try? Or like a shark or whatever. They say punch it in the nose or whatever. Just have confidence.
I never fuck around with sharks. You're never gonna see me in a shark's house. Like water,
The
ocean.
you mean?
I'm out, bro. Give me the even
even like in the, like a small
hey,
tide.
No, when we went to Newfoundland, there's a place called Conception Bay where everybody goes, and there's whales, and we for sure skimmed a whale. Like on a sea-doo, because you're just hitting water. You're like
The East Coast accent came out on that for sure. There.
And then you hit a whale. You don't hit a whale. You hit like a porpoise, is what they say. So some sort of like dolphin, some stupid dolphin-like thing. And you feel it. We hit it with a boat, and you're just like, "Ba-dunk." And you're like, "What did we hit?" Like, I probably hit a porpoise. Whatever, bro.
That's awful.
But we have an onboard motor, so it's the water jet motor. And
Okay,
it's not a
okay.
propeller.
It's just like
So you actually do just pop it off the top. And you just keep going. So if you were to imagine it from under, it's pretty much just skimming the top, and you hit it, and it goes like whoop, and it comes back up. But propeller boats will, yeah. Remember when you were a kid? You ever watch those like nature documentaries, and they would show you the scars on the whale caused by propellers on the boats.
yeah, or manatees. I was
Remember manatees? What is that from? What
Yeah.
did you and I watch as kids that both had manatees in it? Was it Popular Mechanics for Kids?
It must have been something. I remember. Or
Bill
or like
Nye.
it was a thing maybe in the 90s that the manatees were like, we're not doing well.
Man, it's because people in Florida, I think they like try to ride them over there. They're fucked, man.
Well, and like oil spills.
Manatees.
BP.
BP stands for,
Bitch, please.
bitch, please. Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. We want you as a sponsor though, BP. We need that. We need those millions. We'll say good stuff about oil. What, you think we won't?
I smoke oil every day.
There it is. Big oil.
Hey.
Okay, I'm gonna get back on track. There is no track on this podcast, but okay. So we talked about your fame. We've talked about your beliefs. Let's talk about what's your biggest issue with the world. What's your biggest issue? Something that truly, at the end of the day, that like when you're in bed and it's like 3 a.m, you'll be like, fuck.
Racism.
Nice. Good one. That's a good one. You and I, it's easy for us to understand racism because we surround ourselves with multicultural people all the time, which is something that racist people don't. They don't get it because they don't have a black best friend or somebody that they grew up with or an employee.
See, I think so. I think they do. I think sometimes they do.
Whoa, give me this. Give me the lowdown because I know you. I know that you do your shit.
Because I used to think, yeah, like, oh, well, they're ignorant. They don't
Mm.
know. They're in places that they don't know. I mean, nowadays with the internet and now I think I've just come around to just being like,
They're just dumb.
no, they just are power hungry and they just know that they get a whole hell of a lot from continuing to be ignorant. And if they had to face their ignorance, they would have to give up, like, not a ton, but like there is a certain amount of like privilege that you need to kind of reject in order to actually be like actively fighting racism.
Don't you gain more as a human being from being
Yes.
accepting of others?
Yes.
Right? Isn't that weird?
But it's in the same way that like sexism bothers me a lot. And I think that men are really the people who lose out the most in a very like gender rigid society because men are
What?
told that they can't cry. Men are told that they can't have like really the best parts of life in my thing. But it, like try convincing a man that sexism, like, because they still throw it on me that like, oh, well, Sarah, like I.
Listen,
and
man.
So this happened to me one time. And
I hope
so
we get drilled. I just hope we fucking in the comments get drilled right now. People are like, you fucking leftist assholes. Whatever. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, man.
Drill me.
Danielle, I always have to bring up D because she's my only go-to as an everyday female person. But when she was a sailing coach, she'd always get talked down to in Ontario when she moved here because she wasn't a high-ranking person or a respected person like she was back home. And it became so obvious to her that, like, she was like, man, people just treat women so differently. They honestly think you're not capable of the most basic shit. And I think about that, and I think it's because, do you think it's because they like the power, that they're not exposed to a powerful woman or a woman of their, like, ability?
Well, it's, okay, here's what I, like, it's same way that people look at, like, how we were talking about, like, the plight of the pipeline
Yeah.
right now. The same way people look at First Nations, Métis, Inuit people, it's so based on this conception of, oh, everything was so long ago, why can't we get over it?
Man,
Same with
I had a
sexism,
conversation
right?
with somebody about that the other day. They're like, buddy, we're not the ones enslaving. We're not the ones killing the culture. And I was
But
like,
like,
buddy.
how long has it actually been? And every law that we like the Charter of Rights and Freedoms in Canada was made at a time, like all of our laws and statutes and literal, same with America, the founding fathers, these founding documents that people say like are the end all be all, they were literally written when women couldn't vote, when women didn't have a voice, when First Nations people couldn't vote, when they were literally, there was laws, in fact, like urging genocide and shit.
Can you believe that we still deal with First Nations issues? That you and I growing up learned English, French, and I even learned Portuguese in elementary school, but we didn't learn the Canadian language.
I went to Canadian studies in
Wow.
university, and there was not a single, First Nation, like it was in Calgary at the time, so we could have learned like
Break off more.
Blackfoot
Get in there.
Confederacy languages or cultures, and it was just very little. Most of the Indigenous studies professors were white people. It's like
Man.
super fucked up. What else would you want to teach in school, especially high schools, middle schools, and then you'd hope by post-secondary that you'd have like, some full-on. And that's why though, but it's quite deliberate, right? Because if people did know about charter rights, then treaty rights, then they would know that the Indigenous people and the people fighting for their lands have every legal right in the book. So that's why they don't teach us this stuff. Because if they did, then they would have to admit that they fucked up and that they continue to fuck up and that they continue to break their own laws that they set in, you know? So instead they go like, they give us like this bullshit.
Those laws are supposed to benefit everybody. Those land laws are supposed to benefit us as a society economically, while at the same time sharing that economic joy and growth that we get to enjoy so much and share it with them, and we don't. And we rob them and we try to put pipelines through their land. I think that's on
Living
purpose.
together seems to be the crux. Like I am kind of trying to develop like a screenplay around the idea of like living together. Because at the end of the day, that's like because yes, you're right. Like there is a way in which everybody benefits clearly, right? And the way the laws are, like those are Indigenous lands, period. Those are their lands. So I just don't understand any type of perception that thinks like I can cross over and take other people's stuff with no thought as to them and only a thought as to me. Yeah. And I think that's what got us in climate change. Like if you look at all the issues that we face, the biggest, most pertinent issues are a lack of being able to live with each other and remember that like it's not just us, you know, like you have to live with other people.
You want to get deep into conspiracy? I think climate change is already on the mend and not on the down anymore. And I think secretly we already have a way of fixing this shit, and we're not even that scared of it anymore. I like as soon as we're pressed against the wall and it's time to turn around. And I know if you watch the stuff online, they're like, "Yo, man, we got to do it now. It's too late." We're already doing it. We're already going to do it, and we're already going to switch it over. And they're going to find a way to just neutralize shit and not get any hotter. And if it does get hotter, we're going to find a way to do some shit. I don't know.
My conspiracy goes the same way as you and then veers off in a really negative plane because they do have
the negative thing, man.
Well, but I mean, any solutions that I've seen or could conceptualize would be we don't know the outcomes of. So just kind of like all the things that we've done in the past. So they're going to throw some shit up in the sky, bring the temperatures down, and then we get like Snowpiercer.
Let's just do that. Let's just do Mr. Burns thing, and we just cover the sun at certain parts.
That's what I mean. And that's what will happen. Bezos just donated however many $1 billion into...
Yeah, he donated like 3% of who he is.
Exactly, into like environmental stuff. But that just means he will now choose what... So let's say, he'll be Mr. Burns and say, "Oh, well, you know what? I
donated $10 billion.
I talked to two scientists and they said, actually, I'm going to put this big plate of, I'm going to steal the sun from you and let you guys."
Man. I'm fucking down. We get to live through some of the craziest times. Like we get to live at the beginning of a science fiction movie.
We are living in the third that one Back to the Future where Biff
I don't want no Back to the Future. You know what kind of lifestyle I like? I want to live that life from the movie The Fifth Element, with Bruce Willis and like that, or you know what I'm
Orange
talking
hair,
about? The orange
yeah.
hair chick.
I like the orange hair trend, but the heights thing, I can't get with
Yeah,
that.
you remember how they kind of live in the sky and they float around?
I'm not down.
But they live in like the little like one room thing. You're like, oh God, what a dream. To not have to fuck around. Imagine that. You get yourself
My
like
futuristic dream, let me think what that would be
Give me
like.
your futuristic dream. Before we have like, we're down to like our last 10. So if you were going to give me a couple things that we're going to close out on, this is such a funny stoner thing.
Oh, like
We saw-
Gattaca. Or no, like Gattaca, but like without the bioengineering that.
No, man. We need bioengineering. That's just going to be cool, man.
No, but it
Wha-
created the classism to like the crazy extent, remember?
Yeah, but that kind of stuff is just always going to happen with humans. We
and just
need
like
it.
architecturally, I'm a
But
Gattaca.
imagine like the thrift store purchases you'll be able to make once we get there. You're like, man, I needed a fucking liver, and you're just like, oh my God, I got this liver for like $30. It's like only.
That's actually a pretty interesting point because you just made. Think about it. I feel like we aren't. That's the whole point. We've kind of come to like a standstill. Like, what would you collect in the future to signify now? Like nothing. iPhones, and that's it.
How cool is that? Yeah.
Is that
you
cool
have-
or
you-
is that sad?
No, but we live in the worst time.
The
Because-
worst time.
because
It
there's no
literally
nostalgia
is-
yet. We
There's
can't-
no nostalgia, and there won't be for this time and period. It'll just be the phone because we experience everything through the phone.
Okay, wait, I'm
so
trying
like
to
the
think.
'90s, you think of like, you know, like skateboards and hoverboards or tiger print outfits. You think of like real things.
You think of
But
those
for
Nike like windbreakers or something. There's something.
pizza, even like Ninja Turtles.
Honestly,
like pizza was such a thing.
2020s and all
It
this
will be
time,
known for your phone. That's
it'll be
it.
known for phone and technology, and it'll also be known for our growth in political stance and awakening into the global.
Hopefully.
Like, listen, man, when it was easier to it's easier to trick people now, but it was also easier to hide what was happening in the world before technology.
It does kind of feel like the lights came on for everybody all at once.
Yes.
So that's why you're getting kind
But
of
you
a
have
lot
to
of
have
like.
the lights on because can you even hold a conversation in a room with the general smart people if you're not on top of, topical shit, climate, politics? You have to know the basics nowadays to even have a conversation with anybody who isn't a fucking dingus. And a lot of people will try to hide behind the thing that's like, well, I don't talk about, I don't watch that stuff, I don't talk about it. But it's like, man, you don't have time to learn the basics of something as basic as, like there are people that I know personally, speaking just in my family, who if you were to ask them what liberals are and what is a conservative, they wouldn't know. And they exclude themselves from so much, from not even knowing the basics of things like that.
Right.
I like that you were talking about that. Okay, we can't end on something so heavy. We have to
so
end on
you're
something
right.
lighter.
No, so now at least nowadays we have the access. We can inform ourselves, and we don't
Nobody
have to be
wants
like
to
that
be
anymore.
Who wants to be informed? I think we only want to be informed to the point of satisfaction. Like, I'm happy to know that much.
I think you're right. Maybe we look just for the answers that we seek, and
That
then
we seek, and it's like
we
when
create our own worlds.
Like
now.
once I learned the basics of this pipeline and the railroad and everybody closing it down and what it signified, I was content. I haven't gone back to it in 3 days or 4 days. And I just watch the news and I'll get like a little thing that says like, RCMP backing down, blah, 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 support for, railroad people, and you're like, wow, what the fuck, cool. But that's it. You learn the basics so that you can keep up. But I there's so much going on in our time. Like literally, I think they do it on purpose. They flood you. They fucking flood you. Remember a few weeks ago, what was it? What was the flu coming over? Not H1N1.
Coronavirus.
Corona.
Yeah, you're right. It's
Man, they
much too
flood
much.
ya.
It is much too much for one person to handle, and even just the self-awareness of it all, to know your place in it all, is something that we've never really had to deal with before.
You're not
And
even
so, like,
allowed to feel it connected to nature anymore. Because like, how the fuck do you have time to like walk around somewhere nice?
And where is there even nice? Oh my God, this is a good note to leave it on. Artistic beauty. Joni Mitchell's Big Yellow Taxi. Paved paradise to put up a parking lot.
God, Toronto's lost all paradise, man.
I can
All
hardly
vibe.
even listen to that song without crying anymore.
Yeah, well,
The art.
dream's over.
Everything becomes so much more relevant, and
God,
that is
she wrote that in like 60 something probably
Yes.
too.
If you go ahead, listen to that song. It's just too good. Canadian. Actually, me and Scott were talking. I think the
She
number
even
one
talks
Canadian
about
like on the
DDT.
bill, number one hits is Joni Mitchell. And yes, if you listen to it, she says literally,
Hey,
put away the DDT now. Leave me spots on my apples.
But give me the birds and the bees.
Right? And now you're like, oh, damn. Like, yeah. And that was like, yeah.
Then
how
it's
many
got that
years
good
ago?
line, don't it always seem to go, that you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Listen to that song. Tell me you're not crying into 2020 and being like, oh,
I
fuck,
always
Joni
cry.
Mitchell.
I'm a softie. I cry for everything.
Yeah.
I'll cry for a stupid Tim Hortons commercial where a kid brings the cup to his dad. He's like, here you go, Dad. Thanks so much. And you're like... But
You're
Joni
right,
Mitchell,
you're
things
right,
like that get me
yeah.
all man. 60s music is so good. There is a knockoff Joni Mitchell, which is a lady by the name of Melanie Kafka, who wrote the song. What's that song? I rode my bicycle past your window last night. You ever heard that song?
Nope, but I
oh my
like
God,
it.
it's called.
I mean, it sounds
something-
familiar.
I got a brand new pair of roller skates. I got a brand new key. That's the name of the
Okay,
song.
yeah. No, I feel like I've heard that. I think it's like,
She also has another great song called Baby Guitar. Oh man, I'm such a loser. I'm literally talking about a niche artist from the 60s that's probably like 90 years old now.
No, that's...
And playing folk festivals in
That's the
Oshawa.
point, is that good art lasts forever, and that's at least something that we'll have forever, is art.
What's your biggest niche artist that you love that nobody knows?
Kermit Ruffins, New Orleans.
Ooh! Oh man! Did you just say Kermit Ruffins? Did you know? Do you know that I love Kermit Ruffins? Do you know this?
What? For real?
Listen, he's a trumpet player with a unbelievable Christmas album.
You actually know Kermit Ruffins?
Yes, man. And he smokes weed. He's a pothead.
the biggest pothead.
Okay, I think he's from New Orleans.
Yes.
And he's part of like that, like kind of like Orleans swingy.
Trad
okay?
jazz, yes.
But Kermit Ruffins, the most important thing that you have to know, has the best front to back Christmas album that starts with a rendition of Silent Night that is so fucking hip. It's like boom, ba-dum, boom, cha, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, cha.
I'm
It's
obsessed.
nuts.
Yes.
It is nuts.
And Christmas music can be so boring. So
Dude,
like, yeah,
I
Kermit
cannot
Ruffins'
wait for
Christmas
like
album
November
is-
15th. As soon as those, we remember our homies from like on Remembrance Day, and we love all of our old dudes, and we just cry a bunch for all these old little dudes. Like 2 days after, I am fucking jamming out the Kermit Ruffins, man. You know, you
That
salute.
is literally the best.
Dude,
yeah.
like November 13th, 14th, snow starts coming down. You're like, throw on the Kermit. You're like,
so
here we go, here we
incredible.
go.
He's
Jingle
so
bell.
incredible.
Dude, that's so funny. Okay, I'll give it to you. I like that you say Kermit Ruffins. I'm going to tell you something. True story. I don't remember how the fuck I heard Kermit Ruffins. I think it was Scotty who put it on his Instagram once. Your
Maybe,
partner.
yeah,
And
he
he put a track on like a story, but in the back it sounded so cool. I was like, what the fuck is that? And he was like, it's a Kermit Ruffins album. It's his Christmas album. You should check it out. And I cannot wait. Yo, that's so funny, man. We might have to end it on Kermit Ruffins, but listen.
I think we should and go to
Just
New
go
Orleans and see
check it
Kermit
out.
Ruffins.
Yeah,
you can
go.
see him like every
God,
week.
This was such a good stoner podcast. We started with tons of energy. We ate pizza. We said bye to one of our other guests who was here for another recording. We ate snacks.
I had a beer.
You had a beer. We smoked a weed from cheapcanna or cheapcanna.ca, which is like our unofficial sponsor right now because they're
Love
hilarious.
it. Thank
Dude,
you.
There's
It
just
was
called
great.
Cheap Canada. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Wedding cake doobie.
And then we did a wedding
edible.
cake doobie. Oh my God, an edible. Yeah, we didn't do no dabs. I haven't done dabs on any of my guests yet, but dabs will destroy us. And we won't be able to talk because dabs is a home thing. I can't do dabs and talk to you
I'm
for an
going
hour.
home to do a dab right now.
Aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Man, that's our fucking show. Go watch the other ones.
love
Go
you.
Google Sarah. I love you, Sarah. Thank you for being
Do
my
not
guest.
Google me.
Don't Google any of us, man. We used to do porn. Vapor Central, the porn. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. That's it. Peace. Got it. That was all over the place.
I know that song. I totally know that song.